watching the Civil War movie, and I was just interested.
Is this like you've just finally got around to watching Civil War? Like,
No, I watched it, bro. I watched it.
He's watching it
I watched it
again.
3 times.
Oh, again? Okay.
Bro,
I want to
yeah.
watch it again too.
It's like you can love the fight scenes, but you don't have to like the movie. You know what I mean? Because Disney have their own versions, but I like the movie. But
Yeah, I love the movie.
That's a separate topic.
I mean, like, I
but-
love Spider-Man Homecoming more.
Yeah.
No bias.
having
I'm kidding.
Spider bro. You're such Spider Ho.
Spider Who are you calling us? Spider
I'm joking.
Okay,
All right.
back on topic,
Okay,
please.
back on topic. All right. So, if you watched the Civil War, you know that there's a serious topic. You know, Vigilante Registration Act. So it comes to this.
Wait, what are you talking about? It's the Sokovia Accords.
Yeah, but in the comics, it's the Superhuman Registration Act.
So
that sounds cooler.
I know,
More sense.
but then what is he talking? Vigilante Registration Act.
It's
pretty much the same thing, man.
It's
pretty much the same thing.
Superhero sounds better.
Yeah.
Okay,
so imagine right now there's some superheroes there. There's superheroes here. There's a real life superheroes here. So which side would you be on? There's 2 sides, all right? Would you want them to be a private organization where they could pretty much do whatever they want? Or number 2, do you want them to have limited power and they have to be summoned by the government, and the government has to tell them this is where you go, this is where you go, you cannot do this. There's a foreign border here, you cannot cross that. So let's go. Which side are you on?
Mr. Rascoon, I am glad you asked. Okay, so, alright, so after watching Defenders and reading Batman Hush for like the 50th time, like, I think I stand in I have like a pretty serious stance on this. Okay, so, for those of you who haven't read Batman Hush, there's this one part where Batman's about to kill Joker because he at least thought he killed his childhood friend Thomas Elliot. So you remember that part, right?
Of course.
Yeah. So then, like, Batman's about to kill Joker, but then Gordon comes to him, and then he talks to Batman, saying that there are 2 sides. There's picture the law as a line, basically. And then, like, on one side we have like what we abide by, like there's the law, like following the laws and stuff like that. But then he's just like, but then Gordon goes on to say sometimes the law fails us. But like, but then that's where Batman comes in, because he like pretty much does what's necessary.
He's a goddamn
Batman.
He's the goddamn Batman.
He's a goddamn Batman.
Okay, sorry. Please do not read All Star Batman and Robin. That story is garbage. I'm sorry, but not related to All Star Batman. That's a different story. But anyway, back on topic.
But please do read All Star Super.
Yeah, read All Star Superman. That's
Anyways, on topic.
But anyway, back on topic. So like, so I was thinking, they're like, okay, there's this faith I like that basically says laws are not meant to limit us. They're just meant to guide us into how to live a better life. But there are also sometimes, like in the Defenders, for example, you know, at the end, or like Luke Cage, Luke Cage, Matt, and Jessica are saying like, oh, let us handle the hand ourselves, and like, but then like everybody's like, but then like the police captain's like, no, you have no jurisdiction, we're the law and stuff like that. But like, Gordon had a point when he's like, sometimes the law fails. Like, first of all, yes, we don't live in the same situation as we do in like the Marvel or DC universe. Like, Gotham doesn't exist. We don't deal with like madmen or invading aliens or stuff like that. I mean, we do deal with madmen, but like not to the scale of like.
It's more of a question of, would you prefer government interference rather than a private organization?
For what I want to say, like, the superheroes should operate on their own accord. Like, yeah, like sometimes they're bigger things than the law that we need, and like that's where our heroes come in.
Then what about the damage?
But, yeah,
when things go south, when they're trying to go on a mission, especially let's say it's real right now, they're going to a mission in Africa, and things go south, then who's gonna hold them accountable?
But how is that different if they're a government organization and they cause a ton of damage?
If they're a government organization and do a ton of damage,
then all it is just that. All it does is make it official. That's all it does.
The advantage it would be if it was a government, trying to play the devil's advocate here. I mean, think of the real life foreign policy situations, especially with people like Barack Obama and these world leaders. Every time, they have all these missions, but sometimes the public doesn't know about it. Like, let's say there's a situation where there's a terrorist in a building, right? And there's a bunch of civilians. Sometimes maybe the president would do drone strikes, and he would kill the terrorists, but there's a bunch of civilian casualties. Now, if the public found out, obviously it would be bad. but sometimes it would be kept secret. So
this
the
is-
advantage with if it was a government organization,
Less publicity.
yeah, for the public it would be good because they don't know these things. You know,
So kind of an ignorance is bliss
This
sort
kind
of
of
thing.
kind of like when you're a kid, your parents always lie to you, but as you grow up, you're trying to you see that it's kind of like BS. So it's kind of like
So,
that.
Yeah, this brings me to my next thing. Okay, so like back what I was saying before, yeah, I think like superheroes should operate on their own. They should like. There's sometimes the law fails us. Sometimes they're like there are bigger things than the law. But that doesn't mean the government should not have like that. That doesn't mean the government should like turn a blind eye. Like it's like Jim Gordon said. There's the picture of the law as a line, and there should be like. Well, like the superheroes should operate on their own. They should also have like certain limits. There's certain lines they shouldn't cross as well. It's like because like
Alex, what's your
So,
take?
like your thing of it being the law is a line, and the superheroes can go beyond that line,
To
but
a
they're tethered to a point on the law on the side of the line that the police are.
yeah, like
So like
There's an invisible line.
There's a line that's the law is a line,
Yeah.
and superheroes can cross the line.
Cross
but
the line to
they're,
a certain-
they're tethered, so they can only go to a certain point.
I think it's a
Yeah.
situation like let's look at America, right? Like the crime, the on drugs. Like let's say like I'm a low income guy, and I smoke some weed. Obviously the police are gonna arrest me because I'm busted, right? It's the law. But you have people on Wall Street. They get away with this. They smoke weed or anything, and they get away with it. So it's kind of like that.
I don't
With
think they'd be
government-
smoking weed. They'd probably do cocaine.
or cocaine or some stuff like that.
Gosh
so it's
darn
kind of like that.
1% getting away with
Government
everything.
officials, they have all these drone strikes, but they get away with that. But a simple vigilante, there's one casualty, and because they're famous, when people find out, it's easier for the public to find out compared to the government officials. So again, it goes back to public perception. With governments, it's less easier, and for vigilantes, it's more easier. It's like that.
I guess I think I know what you're saying, but
Yeah.
like I'm saying before, like there's certain like lines that even the vigilante shouldn't cross. Is like, I feel like if something does go wrong, I think the person that should answer to this is the hero themselves.
Okay.
It's like,
But what if they're too far gone?
What do
give
you
me an
mean? They're
example.
going rogue?
Well,
Give me an
yeah,
example.
like let's say because we don't really know what's going on. Let's say they're under mind control and they're starting to kill people, right? Then what happens? Like Bucky, for instance, right? He was under mind
Bucky.
control by the
That's
soldiers.
literally the whole point for Civil War. That's the whole reason that Civil War happens.
Yeah.
Or like another example, have you read this Superman story called Superman's Sacrifice? It's like a road to infinite crisis. Basically, what happens like Maxwell Lord took control of Superman.
Oh, okay.
And then like,
I read a bit of it.
yeah, and then like
Booster Gold's in it.
I don't know if Booster Gold's in it, but like, I don't know. There was this one part where
So why is the story important to the?
Because it's basically dealing with this, and it's just like, so because like Superman's under Maxwell Lord's control, but and like there was one part he was like so under the control of Maxwell Lord that he actually beat up Batman and sent him to the and like Batman was hospitalized.
Oh my God. Okay. Have you guys played Injustice?
I know about Injustice.
Yes.
Yes.
See, this is exactly what I'm talking about, right? Like, you
Wait,
know,
Injustice 1 or Injustice 2?
Yeah, like the
Injustice
very first
1.
comics,
Okay.
like the first one. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Going back to this point, Superman is like, he's not just like a hero, right? It's like,
Yeah.
if he sees like, someone, there's that moment in All-Star Superman where this girl's about to commit suicide,
but
right?
he intervenes.
And she's like, she doesn't want to talk about it. Superman's just there waiting all day, 2 days, right? That's how dedicated he is. But having said that, the public trusts him this much. But sometimes that can be dangerous because they're just one bad
that was
day
actually
away.
a big theme in
They're
Superman's
one
Sacrifice.
bad day away. He sees Lois Lane is dead. His children is
His
dead.
unborn child is dead, and Metropolis is
blown away.
decimated, yeah.
He's like, you know what? If you know what, I'm gonna take justice into my own hands. So I'm gonna go around the world, around the Middle East, kill dictators. I am the law. I'm the judge, the jury, the executioner.
Well,
So
that's why
again, this could happen.
That
so
could
how do we
happen.
make sure that
that's why we could happen. But then we take a book from Batman's case and like prepare contingency plans.
So
for
that's
it.
my question. How much, like, we talked about that invisible line. So how much should superheroes be willing to do? Should they just stick to fighting bad guys, or should they also worry about the conflicts, the war, and all
That is actually another good point.
That's-
Okay,
yes.
'cause, okay, connecting this to another Superman story.
Okay.
It's actually one of my favorites. It's written by Paul Dini. You should read it.
Paul Dini.
Yeah, it's called Superman Peace on Earth, and like what's unique about this is not like a hero versus villain kind of story. It's like in this story, Superman's just trying to solve world hunger, and like
Is that the one where he gets us the heartbeats?
I don't remember if he said so.
Oh, okay, no.
But like in this story, Superman's basically trying to solve world hunger, and like
Okay.
a good thing about the story is that like it shows the complexity of the issue. But
Okay.
then like one of the complexities is that like there's also like socio-political stuff.
Okay.
That's also takes some.
So in that story, is he again for limited government or more of a private thing? He wants less interference from government.
It's kind of a bit of both, because like at the beginning he actually goes to the UN and proposes this plan.
Actually, here's another question. Do you think, because we're talking about private and more government interference, do you think there can be a concession, like they can do both?
You mean, because I was thinking of like S.H.I.E.L.D.,
Yeah.
sort of. It's kind of a government agency, but it's sort
They're
of
secretive.
at arm's length. And they frequently piss off the government and
Yeah.
frequently don't listen. You watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yeah.
Have you seen?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like Coulson
I know
and
what you're talking
Coulson and Talbot are frequently
always against each
frequently
other.
at odds.
Yeah.
So like, but S.H.I.E.L.D. is so it's not exactly a government thing, but the government lets them be around, and then S.H.I.E.L.D. deals with all the Inhumans and everything. So there could be like a sort of middleman kind of
Yeah, like a
organization.
middleman, 'cause, like-
so the superheroes aren't completely on their own, and they're not directly at the mercy of the government.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like going back to the topic, saying like how like if the superheroes should just fight villains or like deal with like other problems as well. I think at the end they should just do what they can, you know, because like they have their like Batman has his main focus of protecting Gotham, but like he
Okay.
also tries to do whatever else he can to like.
So
and like Superman's
your stance, it should be middle ground.
there should be a middle ground. Like
Okay.
superheroes should
And
like
how about you?
I'm probably middle ground too.
Yeah.
because like
I'm
superheroes-
more leaning to superheroes do their
For
own thing.
me,
Yeah.
I'd say it should be a private organization with the exception that it should have like sort of like a government liaison. Or one person looking after them, you know, going over files. If you remember, you know, Steve Trevor in the New 52, you know, Justice League. It's still a private organization, but the exception is that Steve
Yeah.
Trevor, he's sent by the government to make sure that they don't like screw up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's
So-
good. Like
so,
I believe
you know,
the Avengers
government-
had
because
something
you don't
like
know,
that, too.
like again, we've seen how in Civil War, you know, with the UN Accords, the Sokovia Accords,
Sokovia Accords, yeah.
you know, there. Let's a what if scenario where they actually sign it. Well, we don't know what the agenda is. What if?
Yeah.
they're-
Yeah,
you know,
that's a big problem because like
There's-
with something that the government is telling them who the bad guys
Exactly.
are.
And
So
what if
yeah,
there's
yeah.
a case of
That's
there's this country, and there's Palestine, there's Israel, there's America, there's Iran, and it's like, oh, go fight Iran. Oh no, go fight Russia. Go.
yeah,
and
they
they're like, oh,
basically
what should we
become.
do?
They don't become here. They're just
Exactly.
political deterrents.
It would become a
They
political
don't
situation.
because if they are completely controlled by the government, then they're
Yeah.
not heroes anymore. They're just
Exactly.
they're just tools.
They'd be
They're-
puppets.
They're,
They're just
complete-
tools of the
political
government. Yeah.
deterrents. They're not.
It's a situation where, you know, you have agencies like Save We Can, Save the Children.
Yeah.
Well, like 50, 60 years ago, I don't know the names of the organization, but there used to be those organizations where, you know, they used to save people, but here's the catch. They were neutral, like, you know, World War I, World War II, they didn't
Yeah.
take any sides.
Yeah.
And because of this, it pissed a lot of people. So again, you know, if we had the situation where they signed the Sokovia Accords,
Yeah.
it pissed off a lot of people because they're picking certain, or they're neutral, and they're like, hey, why aren't you on my side? Oh, hey, why aren't you not on my side? It pissed off a lot of people because now it is this political mess.
Yeah. So like, yeah, I feel like with superheroes, they really. I mean, like with Superman trying to solve world hunger, that wasn't like a. I mean, it had political aspects to it, but in the end, he just wanted to solve world hunger. But like, superheroes just shouldn't really get like. I feel like the political side is it's like a completely different story. Like
Definitely.
with superheroes, they should just like probably like trying to like solve world like try to like protect the world and try to solve as many problems as they can. But like when it comes to like political stuff, that should be like its own separate thing because like.
So these heroes shouldn't involve themselves in politics. They should focus on being heroes.
Yeah, pretty much. 'Cause-
But should there be any like you know that like like especially with Batman, like he doesn't kill,
Yeah.
but there's always exceptions. Like especially with Arrow, like we have like with season 1 he's a killer, but season 2 he's like, oh, I'm not gonna kill because of my best friend Tommy.
Yeah.
But
And then he went back in season
and he went
5 for
back-
killing.
Yeah, then he went back into
In
killing.
season 5, is he like an actual killer?
No, he's not a killer, but
like,
he's like
he kills when
he's
necessary.
only when necessary.
He's more
so then
lethal.
my question
okay.
is, because we're saying superheroes they should stick to their superhero business and not get involved in politics.
Or actually,
Or-
there's
so where should be the exception be?
No, that actually, I just
Okay,
remembered
well-
something because like
Okay, go.
I remembered something else.
Yeah,
One like, okay, everybody here knows Wonder Woman. Like,
obviously.
yeah,
Yeah.
So, like she's a hero. Obviously, she has her own does her own thing. She fights the villains.
Yeah.
But she's also the ambassador of Themyscira. So
Yeah.
she's like able to like get into political connect. She also has like able to like be able to take part in political things as
She
well.
also has some political. And your thing about exceptions. You remember in Arrow when the Count Vertigo guy?
Yeah.
Remember when he captures Felicity and he's gonna inject her?
Oh yeah.
And then and he shoots him with 3 arrows right in the heart.
Yeah.
And that was during his no killing phase. So he broke his own rule to save someone.
Okay, so that's the no killing rule. So then, let's say
He broke the rule. That's
exactly.
the exception thing.
So then, what would make the superheroes break that rule about getting involved in politics?
I feel like there are
Especially in wars.
I feel like there's certain ways they can get involved in politics. Like Wonder Woman, she's an ambassador. Like Batman, like he can use his Bruce Wayne influence to like
Oh yeah.
help out as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
Rich billionaire
Subtly.
playboy influence.
Yeah, like with Clark Kent, he's a reporter, so like it's his job to get this stuff out there. So
There's a great story, Kingdom of Earth.
Kingdom of Earth.
No, not Kingdom of Earth.
Kingdom
Kingdom Come.
Come.
Kingdom
Oh, I
Come.
love that story
Yeah.
so much.
Yes. That has some very great political implications. It's like this guy, he screws up Magog.
Magog, yeah.
He screws up, and then, he's just like, because
This is an
Superman's gone.
This is an Elseworld story, by
It's
the
an
way.
Elseworld story.
No. Superman left because of Magog.
Because of him, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's just like, he's just killing people left and right. There's a bunch of amateur superheroes.
Yeah,
They're doing some
they don't really
reckless-
know what it means
They're
to be a
being
hero.
totally reckless,
They
right?
don't really know what it means
And then
to be a hero.
Superman
yeah.
just comes. He's just like, "Hey, I'm here," right?
Yeah.
And then he's just giving a lecture to this guy.
Yeah.
And then Magog's like, "Hey, do you know what I had to do?" And he just like suddenly cries
Yeah.
because
I
like
remember that.
he because technically it was his way of saying like, I miss you, man. Like, you didn't teach me. You just left us. So again, this could this happen? Like with where the superheroes they're doing some stuff. It only takes one bad person to screw them up, and then their team is just assembled, and it can become a catastrophe.
Like, can you repeat the question, please?
No,
I heard you, but like I'm trying to like
Yeah.
wrap my head around it. It's like
I think the fact is we've delved into some complicated stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, man,
I'm
this is
just
too
like-
heavy for me.
It's so heavy, man.
No,
I'm thinking,
what is life?
I'm thinking Justice League Gods and Monsters. How that
Yeah.
is,
yeah, but like,
because they're more of a
they're more of a government thing.
they're more of a judge jury kind of thing.
No, I think it's like
They're
Wait, are you talking about Justice Lords?
no Justice
No,
League
Gods and Monsters.
It's
And
an-
also there's the
it's an
Justice
animated-
Lords. Did you see the animated series?
Yes, I have.
Oh, you're talking about the
2000.
alternate where Batman's a vampire?
Yeah.
Okay,
Gods
okay,
and Monsters,
yeah.
Superman's Mexican.
No.
Superman's Mexican and his father's General Zod. and then,
I've seen that clip where it's like the baby was a killer, and he had to kill the baby. Like the very first clip.
Of what? Gods and Monsters or Justice
Yeah,
League?
it was
Oh, and
Superman.
you watched in the Justice Lords in the DC the
No,
animated
this
series.
was the one we're talking about. There's a clip on YouTube they released where Superman he's shaped like he has a beard,
Yeah.
right? And it's like Brainiac. It's like a childlike Brainiac, right? He's destroying stuff, right? He's wrecking havoc, and Superman has no choice. Even though he is a child, he has to kill that person because he's wrecking stuff.
I don't remember that clip.
I don't know what is this from. Gods
The
and
judge,
Monsters.
just like Gods and Monsters.
Oh, is that the one-off? Like they had
They had one-offs.
one-off stories.
Oh, they had one-offs.
Yeah,
they
they released on YouTube.
like Marvel one-shots, but for this.
Oh.
Like there's one with Wonder Woman. There's one with Batman.
Yeah.
And there's one with him.
I watched the Wonder Woman one. I didn't see this one. That you're talking about
This
with
one is a
Superman.
very interesting.
Oh,
one.
okay. What were you saying about the Justice Lords one?
Okay, like the Justice Lords, their motivation for it isn't the thing where they turn all evil.
Yep,
It's because
yep.
they're-
After
the
Flash
Flash dies.
dies.
Yeah,
Flash
Flash
dies, yeah.
dies.
And he kills
So-
Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor Brainiac, right?
He actually kills
In
Lex
the Justice
Luthor.
Lord universe?
Justice
In
Lords.
the Justice Lord, this is the one that starts. He
Oh,
kills
in the
Lex
Justice
Luthor.
Lords universe,
Yes.
Superman kills Lex Luthor,
Lex Luthor,
right?
and
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
like, I'm feeling great.
Yeah, I remember that. It's been a while since I watched that show. It's a fantastic
It's a
show.
fantastic
Those
show.
are,
that
those are so
moment
good.
where
Batman the Animated
Brainiac Luthor,
Brainiac
Flash
Luthor and the
goes
Flash
around the
going,
world, he
that
goes
was
around
the
the
best.
world. Yo,
That was the best fight in the
Yo.
whole animated
Wait, was that
series.
Justice League or Justice League?
Justice League, no,
yeah.
that was-
you just all you see is Flash going around the world. And he
That was-
vibrates
that was-
his
that
hand.
That was Justice League Unlimited, what?
No.
It's
It's just
just
Justice
regular
League.
Justice
It's normal
League.
Justice League.
Yeah.
It's the Justice Lords episode.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah?
It's a 2-part probably or something,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's the Justice Lord. It's Justice League, just normal Justice League.
Yeah.
With the Justice Lords, they
The Justice Lord episode,
somehow
yeah.
come into the normal universe.
Yeah.
And then
The Justice Lords, they trap them, and then
Yeah.
and
Lords,
then
they switcheroo.
Luthor and Brainiac. Wait, is that Justice Lords?
Yeah, Justice Lords. Yeah, they're
Are
taking
you
their
sure?
place. It's a Justice Lord. It's the one where
I
Superman's
don't
wearing a
remember, but
white
I remember
suit.
that one. The one with Luthor and Brainiac are they,
And
they
Batman's
somehow
the only
fuse.
good person from the Justice Lords. He's the one that is helping the other Justice League members.
Yeah,
I need
think
to watch
remember
this.
that.
I don't
I need to
remember.
watch
It's
this
the one
again.
where Flash is trapped in jail.
Oh, yeah, and then
Yeah, and he
vibrates.
he
Yeah.
pretends to stop
Yeah.
his heart.
No,
and
yeah,
then,
Yeah.
it makes his heart go so fast that the machine
He's-
can't
he's
pick
like
it up,
zero.
Yeah.
and he
Zero.
thinks it's dead, and then
He thinks he's dead.
Batman goes in, and then
And
just
then
And he
switches.
punches
Yeah,
Batman, he puts him back.
yeah.
And then,
was
like, I
good.
love that part where, like, Batman just, like, you use this code. He's like, how'd you know? It's like, it's what I would have used. But anyway, back on topic.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
you were...
That's fun. What were we talking about?
You said there was a clip in the Justice Lords.
No, he was talking about that Brainiac thing.
Oh, yeah, and then, like, you were
it's
saying, like, how, like, the Justice Lord, because Flash died.
That's their
Like,
catalyst.
it's like, doesn't
That's their
matter-
one bad day thing.
Yeah.
With the Justice Lords.
Doesn't matter how innocent the person is. If
Yeah.
he's doing bad
Like,
things,
every person has a breaking point.
every person has a break.
Yeah.
So then,
So, like, I
is
feel
this
like-
the point? Like, what do you do
I
if
think,
the
like-
superhero breaks?
Yeah, I think, like,
It's like that thing where it's like, you're saying something bad happened, but at the same time, there's a line you cannot cross.
Yeah.
So what would that superhero do in that instance?
If you cross that line.
If you cross the
Well,
line? Because
I
you
think,
know
like,
you don't want.
like I said before, it's like I said before earlier, we should, like, take a page from Batman's book and, like, create, like, a contingency plan in case something...
Yeah, he has
'cause,
that
like,
in Justice League Doom. He has ways to
yeah,
defeat
'cause,
all
like,
the members of the
'cause,
Justice
like,
League.
it might not necessarily be the hero's fault if they turn evil. Like, it's that going back to Batman Hush. Poison Ivy takes control of Superman. Superman's not like actually evil. Like, Poison Ivy takes control of him, and that's when Batman interacts.
It's like that thing. Like, remember, like in Daredevil, where the Punisher, he's arrested, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
he comes back from jail.
Yeah.
Daredevil, he's had many instances to turn him over to the law.
Yeah.
But he chooses not to because he knows that, in his sense, he's doing the right thing, even though he's killing people.
Yeah.
So it's like that, like.
He's like doing the right thing, but in the wrong way.
Exactly. So my instances is like, like let's say there's a point here where, the hero, he can do so many good. Like the drone strikes, for instance, he can expose the government. But
Yeah.
would that be really good? Like he exposes the government and then the public is angry at the president. So my question is will we have instances where sometimes you just have to keep your mouth shut, even though you could do it, but you can't.
That is a complicated question as well.
Yeah.
Which we'll leave to the audience.
Leave for
Yeah.
next time.
Yeah.
Next time we're gonna
Yeah.
wrap it up.
We've delved in. We talked about such complicated stuff that I'm craving a burrito right now, man. I'm hungry right now, man. Man, that's complicated.
That's the solution for heavy thinking is a burrito.
Well, you know what? I would just conclude this by the Confederates, the ugly situation in America. Well, I've seen this post on Instagram where this guy's like, there's a brown egg, there's a white egg.
Yeah.
Well, we're all just crack the eggs. We're all just a bunch of yolks.
Yeah, pretty
We're all
much.
just a bunch of yolks.
That is pretty much.
That's how you solve
That's-
racism right there.
That's how you. Yes.
That's
yes.
how you solve
Thank you,
racism.
Mr. Rescue.
Yes, that's how you solve the world.
I'm gonna quote that from now on.
Yes. So this is your boy Rascoon,
This is everyone's favorite madman, Shakib.
And the one and only Alex.
and we'll be signing off. Tune in next time for next week's show.
Have a good life, everyone.
Have a good day.
All right.
Man, that was seriously deep, man. Holy.
I love deep
You didn't
talks.
screw this on properly, you twat.
Well, I was waiting for you. We have to do it ourselves, man.
How do you turn this off?
That's. Was it recording?
Well, that's flashing. I assume that means recording.
Yeah, that's fine.